Hello, welcome back to the Podcasters Podcast. I'm here with Kane today. How are you, Kane?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Not too bad. And we're going to talk about how to choose your niche for your podcast. Kane, take it away.
Right. So I think it's really important to identify why have a niche, first of all, because most podcasters are too broad. You know, I think it's really important to have a specific audience in mind before you start creating content. If I said to you, like, all right, this is my favorite Netflix series, Ash, like, check it out, you do, and you only like 1 out of the 10 episodes, chances are you're not sticking around to watch season 2, right? So it's really important to create content that serves your audience every single week. Like, we've got the Podcasters Podcast here. We have the know-how to do the Creators Podcast. We could talk about YouTube and Instagram and TikTok, but if I'm only talking about podcasting 10% of the time, anyone listening to this that's only interested in scaling their podcast, monetizing their podcast, they're not going to find value in the rest of it. So you're going to alienate your audience. So find and identify your niche. And oftentimes you need to be more specific than you think, not just the marketing podcast. Because what is your expertise? Is it digital marketing for small businesses? Then that's what you should do. So that's why you need to identify your niche before you get started. Or if you've already got started, then slowly niche down. Look back at your analytics. What episodes perform best? Whichever one seems to get the most downloads, they're the ones you should lean into, and you niche down over time.
Absolutely. It's almost like you need to work back from your listener first. So who is going to listen to my content? If you've got a product or service to offer on the back end, who's the person that's going to buy my product service? Who's the person who is going to get the most value from my content? Work back from them. Right, it's this person, it's this avatar, if you like. What do they want to hear? What content are they going to see and be like, I want to listen to that? And then you kind of work backwards from that.
Yeah, it's thinking with the end in mind, isn't it? So if you're first of all, identify what your podcast is for. Is it to monetize? Is it a marketing vehicle for your business? What is your end result? Because if you have a product or service, or you own your own business, then that should be what your podcast is about. Now, it doesn't need to be the same name as your business, but your podcast listeners should be the same as your business clients. So, for example, we've got Progressive Media. We do podcast editing, production, consultancy, content repurposing. These are services that we offer. Now, if I start talking about Instagram on my podcast, well, that's irrelevant. Like, I'm not going to get anything out of that. However, you do have people reaching out to us saying, can you do the production for my podcast? Can you help me grow? And that's because we've thought the end in mind. This is a marketing vehicle for our business, and everybody should do the same. That's where you start when it comes to identifying your niche. However, if you don't have a business and you're doing it as more of a passion project or something like that, then there's 2 things I think you should focus on. Either your passion or your profession. If you want the secret to being successful in podcasting, it's show up every single week at the time you say you're going to for 2 years. I almost guarantee your success, because most people don't do that. Most people can't commit to that. Mm-hmm. And if you want to be successful in podcasting, you have to have that commitment long term. And the easiest way to do that is talk about something you know inside and out. Your passion or your profession is something that it's very easy to find guests. You're probably well connected in those areas. You enjoy talking about it, and you have so much knowledge about that area that it's easy. You can sit down and just record an episode.
Absolutely. And it's massive. That passion idea is even bigger, I'd say, if you're trying to wear all the hats. If you're someone that's trying to do everything yourself, it's important that you really enjoy making the content to make those bits. So not many people enjoy editing. Some people do, but not many people enjoy editing. So that if you're one of those people, it's important that the subject you're talking about, you're enjoying it. So it's worth doing those bits. Do you know what I mean? If you're intending on doing it all yourself, you've got to enjoy what you're talking about so you can do it consistently for a long period of time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Podcasters Podcast. If there's anything specific you want us to cover, leave us a review. We check all of them, and we'll create an episode answering your question. Thanks very much.
Cheers.